Neighbours called his tunnel home insane until it beat -35 degrees Fahrenheit winter. The laughter didn't stop until the cold did. When the thermometer slammed past -35 degrees and modern homes started failing, the so-called insane tunnel home stayed warm, dry and quiet. No roaring furnace, no fragile grid, just earth, physics and a set of survival principles so old they were battle-tested in World War II. Today, on the Last GlobalWar Fronts, we're breaking down how an underground shelter design that looks crazy on the surface can outperform modern buildings when winter turns brutal. This isn't fantasy prepping. This is history-backed survival engineering. Why going underground beats the cold every time. Cold doesn't kill buildings. Temperature swings do. Above ground, walls get punched by wind, ice, and thermal shock. Underground, the earth becomes armour. At just a few feet below the surface, temperature stabilises year-round. During World War II, underground bunkers across Europe and the Eastern Front weren't built for comfort. They were built because the ground doesn't care about blizzards, bomb shock waves, or freezing air. Soil acts like a thermal battery. Once it absorbs heat, it releases it slowly. That's why this tunnel home didn't flinch at -35 degrees. The cold never reached it. This is the first lesson modern prepping forgets. Insulation is good, earth is better. The tunnel design everyone mocked. The structure wasn't a fancy bunker with steel doors and warning signs. It was a simple horizontal tunnel leading into a compact underground living space. Neighbours saw dirt piles and narrow entrances and assumed madness. What they didn't see was airflow control, thermal mass, and pressure stability working together. World War II military engineers understood tunnels for one reason. They work. From resistance networks to frontline shelters, tunnels kept soldiers alive when surface structures were obliterated or frozen solid. A narrow entrance limits heat loss. A curved or angled tunnel blocks wind. The deeper chamber traps warmth like a sealed thermos. When winter peaked, the tunnel home didn't need to fight the cold. It ignored it. Earth is the oldest insulation known to man. Concrete cracks, wood shrinks, metal bleeds heat. Earth stays put. Soil has an R value that increases with thickness, but more importantly, it dampens extremes. In World War II, German and Allied forces alike buried command posts and medical shelters because heating fuel was scarce and exposure killed faster than bullets. At -35 degrees, surface air strips heat instantly. Underground, temperatures hover closer to the annual average of the region. That means less energy spent heating and far more stability. The tunnel home relied on this same principle. No constant heating cycle, no sudden drops, just steady, survivable warmth. That's why underground shelters often feel cool in summer and warm in winter. The earth doesn't panic, it balances. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think underground equals stale air. World War II proved the opposite. Proper tunnel shelters use passive ventilation. Warm air rises, cool air sinks. By placing intake and exhaust points at different heights and distances, airflow moves naturally without fans. In extreme cold, narrow vents reduce heat loss while still exchanging oxygen. The tunnel home used this same logic. No wide openings, no straight wind tunnels, just controlled breathing for the structure itself. During World War II sieges, this design kept soldiers alive for weeks underground with minimal detection and minimal heat loss. Airflow isn't about size, it's about direction. Structural strength the cold can't crack. Freezing temperatures destroy foundations through expansion and contraction. Underground, that problem almost disappears. Soil pressure is constant. Temperature changes are slow. World War II bunkers were designed to survive artillery shockwaves. Cold was a minor concern compared to blast resistance. But that same over-engineering is why many of those structures still stand today, decades later, untouched by winters that shredded surface buildings. The tunnel home benefited from this same physics. No exposed walls, no roof collecting ice, no wind shear. The ground held everything together like a clenched fist. Why modern homes fail where tunnels succeed? Modern construction assumes energy abundance, constant heating, constant repairs, constant supply chains. World War II shelters assumed the opposite: scarcity, failure, isolation. At -35 degrees Fahrenheit, power grids fail. Fuel gels. Pipes burst. A tunnel home doesn't rely on any of that. It uses placement, mass, and simplicity. That's why it outperformed houses worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The neighbours laughed because it looked primitive. History tells us primitive often means resilient. World War II lessons: hiding in plain sight. During World War II, entire underground cities existed. Ammunition factories carved into mountains, hospitals buried beneath streets, living quarters tunnelled under forests. These weren't desperation moves, they were strategic advantages. Underground meant concealment, stability, survival. The tunnel home followed the same unwritten manual. Keep it small. Keep it simple. Let physics do the heavy lifting. When winter tried to kill everything above ground, the underground space didn't even notice. That's not luck. That's design. Why people fear what they don't understand. Calling it insane was easy. Understanding it takes effort. We're conditioned to think survival equals technology. World War II taught the opposite. Survival equals adaptation. The tunnel home didn't fight nature. It stepped out of nature's line of fire. And when -35 degrees Fahrenheit arrived, the argument ended. The real takeaway for modern survival. This isn't about copying one tunnel. It's about respecting old knowledge. Underground living isn't a gimmick. It's one of the oldest survival strategies on Earth, refined under the pressure of global war. World War II didn't just change borders. It revealed what actually keeps humans alive when systems collapse. Earth. Simplicity. Physics. Mock it if you want. Winter doesn't care. If you found this breakdown valuable and want more untold survival lessons pulled straight from World War II history, hit subscribe, share this with someone who still thinks underground means crazy, and stay locked to the last global war fronts. History doesn't whisper. It warns.